Welcome to the Tuesday edition of Off the Wire Daily. I am your host, Noel Lynn, aka the Cajun Libertarian. Before we get started, please like, share the show, subscribe to my YouTube channel, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, and basically anywhere you get your podcast. Follow me on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram, please. And thank you. Wearing one of my favorite shirts that the wife got me. Government 1 out of 5 stars. Very bad. Would not recommend. Less than 1 out of 5 stars. So I hope you had a fantastic Memorial Day. As I am sitting here recording this episode, it is still Memorial Day. So I wanted to play this clip for you. Here we go.
What are you doing? What are you doing?
Nothing. Me? Just hanging around.
For those of you listening later, which there are a lot of you, thank you very much. Don't forget to leave me the 5-star review. The video has a caption says the U.S. government anytime they find oil in another country. What are you doing? Me? Nothing. Just hanging around. So anyway, kind of a joking matter. Also very much not. So because as I elaborated on yesterday, for the last 100 plus years since Woodrow Wilson, we've been fighting endless wars that have nothing to do with our freedom and everything to do with stealing people's natural resources. Period. So, my heart goes out to all the family members, the orphans, the widows, the mothers that lost their sons and daughters in these pointless, murderous, disgusting wars. No war. Now, what do we have on the docket for today? Last Thursday, if you recall, I had a very special guest on, Kyle Becker from CEO Becker News, former associate producer and writer for Fox News, been on The Blaze, Timcast, The Daily Report, etc., etc. I wanted to talk about a couple of the articles that he wrote with him, and we really got into kind of a rant mode of what was actually happening, but we didn't discuss a lot of the details. So let's go over some of the details. New Senate bill would create federal agency to police Americans for quote-unquote misinformation and quote-unquote hate speech. This is by Kyle Becker, May 18, 2023. Now, if you remember correctly, just a few short weeks ago, maybe 2 months ago, they introduced what was known as the Restrict Act. They got so much freaking pushback that it disappeared. Because the Restrict Act is the Patriot Act for the Internet 2.0. Bipartisan support. Again, whenever it's bipartisan, it's bad for you. It's 100% bad for you. All right. And now let's compare that to what happened with the Green New Deal. Remember that got shot down as Biden introduced it. And what they did was they just busted it up and slid tiny parts of it into what we now know as the Inflation Reduction Act. Put that in scare quotes because it doesn't reduce any. It actually increases inflation because it's more government spending requiring more money printing to go on. I am personally calling this shot now. We're going to see the same thing with the Restrict Act, and it's going to come in the form of something like this, which this will probably get rejected, and it should, but beyond should. This is an egregious, absolutely atrocious infringement on your privacy and your right to free speech, without a doubt. It's amazing that this bold after the Twitter files and the FBI was exposed to pulling strings at Facebook and basically every social media platform outside of TikTok, which is owned by the Chinese Communist Party. By the way, TikTok is not your enemy. Chinese Communist Party probably is, but your government is far worse of an enemy than the CCP. And all of these apps track and steal and sell your data. This ain't just TikTok. So to ban TikTok is outrageously stupid anyway, for no other reason than we've been right. Ron Paul's been right for decades. We told you, don't do this thing. Everybody laughed at the libertarians. And then years later, now you're all saying, well, you were right about that. Well, yes. And we're right about this too. Do not ban TikTok. Do not support a TikTok ban. That is a very stupid idea. Because on what grounds are you going to ban the app? Oh, it's terrible for kids? Okay, well, they'll say that about Timcast then, and they'll ban you. Right? They'll say that about the Daily Wire. They'll ban them. They'll say that about this show. They'll ban it. They'll say Jimmy Dore is not good. They'll ban him. No, you're opening these ridiculously stupid doors. If you don't want your kids on TikTok or you don't want the Chinese Communist Party stealing and selling your data, don't download the app. Don't let your kids on the app. It is very, very simple. But under no circumstances can we ban it. Let's get into the article. A new Senate bill would create a federal agency to police Americans' speech for quote-unquote misinformation and hate speech if passed by Congress. The bill was brought forth by Colorado U.S. Senator Michael Benet, or Bennett, however he pronounces it, and is dubbed the Digital Platform Commission Act, DPCA. If you're in Colorado, call your legislators and get this removed immediately. Under no circumstances can this pass. And anybody that supports it, call the people and tell them under no circumstances can this pass. As the senator announced, the legislation would, quote, create an expert federal body empowered to provide comprehensive sector-specific regulation of digital platforms to protect consumers, promote competition, and defend the public interest, end quote. I forgot to say this, by the way, because I really would love for you guys to call in and leave me a call-in message. You got up to 60 seconds. You can leave more than one if you need to create more of a message that you want to spread. Anchor.fm/The Cajun Libertarian, or go to my Twitter profile and look in the bio. The link is right there, and just go to leave a voice message or send a voice message, something like that. Keep it kid friendly, please. I will vet them, but please leave me, especially if you disagree with me. I would really love that, so we can have these conversations and, do what we're supposed to do in the West, and that's debate. So please, I don't care what you call in about. If you want to be funny, if you want to be juvenile, if you want to disagree, or you want to agree, or you want to elaborate on a point that you might have think I missed something at, and conceptualize it a little bit more, flesh it out, please leave me a comment. I love these anchor call-ins. I got one on yesterday's show where a doctor called in to tell me I was wrong about something, so I addressed it. So please call in. I would love it very, very much so. All right. Anchor.fm/The Cajun Libertarian, or right in my Twitter bio. Let's keep going. The new Federal Digital Platform Commission would have the mandate, jurisdiction, and broad set of tools to develop and enforce thoughtful guardrails for a sector that has been left for too long to write its own rules, with serious consequences for everything from teen mental health, don't let your teenagers on it, to disinformation, to anti-competitive practices that hurt small businesses, end quote, the senator argued. Let me read that one sentence again. If I went through it too fast, listen to this very carefully. The FDPC would have the mandate, jurisdiction, and broad set of tools to develop and enforce thoughtful guardrails for a sector that has been left for too long to write its own rules. That's fascism. You're telling private companies what they can and can't do. So all you mind-numbingly stupid leftists that want to call everything under the sun that disagrees with you fascist, when you have no idea what in the world fascism means, this is what your Democrats are doing. They're absolutely fascist. Both parties are. Both of them. You're just stupid. Call in, anchor.fm, prove me wrong. All right. Quote, as a country, we should take pride that most of the world's leading tech companies were founded in America, but they aren't startups anymore. Today, they rank among the most powerful companies in human history. It's past time for a thoughtful and comprehensive approach to regulating digital platforms that have amassed extraordinary power over our economy, society, and democracy, said the senator introducing the bill. Quote, we don't have to choose between letting digital platforms write their own rules, allowing competitors like China and the EU write those rules, or leaving it to politicians in Congress. We should follow the long precedent in American history of empowering an expert body, I put that in scare quotes, to protect the public interest through common sense rules and oversight for complex and powerful sectors of the economy, end quote. You have got to be kidding me. Stop listening to the experts, and there are no common sense rules or regulations when it comes to being a fascist. You're just top-down control, centralized power over the number one ability to disseminate information and opinion. You do not have the right to regulate that whatsoever. Not even a little bit. The fact that whatever's already has happened is a blatant violation of the way this country is supposed to operate. Let's continue. The new Federal Digital Platform Commission would have 5 commissioners appointed by the president and confirmed by the U.S. Senate. It would be, quote unquote, staffed by experts with a background in areas such as computer science, software development, and technology policy. Oh my God, they always wrap their tyranny in such nice little packaging with lipstick and a dress. It's still a freaking pig. It's still a totalitarian, authoritarian regime. The entire apparatus. But it's still a freaking pig. Read through the nonsense. None of this will be good for you. It doesn't matter if you're on the left, you're on the right, you're in the middle, somewhere in between, or like the vast majority of people, you shouldn't buy into the left-right paradigm to begin with, because almost everyone holds opinions all across the place. This should piss off everyone. Do not let this pass. Let's keep going. The commission would have, quote, a broad mandate to promote the public interest with specific directives to protect consumers, but you're not. You would be going after us, the consumer. Promote competition. That's the last thing that you want. My gosh. You're such shameless, disgusting, tyrannical liars. And assure the fairness and safety of algorithms on digital platforms. That could work out well. Sure. To assure the fairness and safety of algorithms on digital platforms. Wow. Among other areas, end quote. The senator's statement added, quote, to fulfill its mandate, the commission would have the authority to promulgate rules, impose civil penalties, hold hearings, conduct investigations, and support research. It could also designate systemically important digital platforms subject to additional oversight, regulation, and merger review, end quote. Unbelievable. The DPCA has garnered support from various experts and organizations. They're not experts. They're just authoritarians. Please stop buying their brand. It's complete garbage and will hurt you. The DPCA has garnered support from various experts and organizations. Former Federal Communications Commission Chairman Tom Wheeler commends the bill for modernizing national policies and introducing an agile regulatory model suitable for the digital age. Colorado Attorney General Phil Weiser emphasizes the need for federal action and a regulatory framework to protect citizens in the online world. But you won't be protecting us. You will be literally attacking us and stripping away our fundamental First Amendment. Period, full stop. There's no in between. There's no gray area here. And we know it, and you know it, and you know that we know it. It's just the NPC mouth-breathing morons who can't see the forest through the trees. Let's see. Almost done here. Stick with me. We're going to wrap up here on a note, obviously. Public Knowledge, a nonprofit organization, endorses the bill as a consumer-centered approach to holding online platforms accountable. Other supporters include the Center for Humane Technology, Communication, and Technology from experts at Georgetown University, Yale School of Management, and various advocate groups. Garbage. It relies upon government-appointed, quote-unquote, experts who would doubtless act, that's weird, that reads wrong, to police state-approved narratives and policies, but that is correct. With robust protections and free expression, there is a risk of chilling effects on online discourse, obviously, as well as stifling innovation and creativity. Even more obvious, the Twitter files, didn't realize that we got into that in here, meanwhile, continues to document the many abuses of free speech committed by the quote-unquote misinformation and quote-unquote hate speech moderators at big tech companies. Quote, Lorenz had more than special reporting access to get accounts banned. End quote. Journalist Paul Thacker reported, quote, when Tucker Carlson did a piece ridiculing her, Twitter put out an alert. We need to be careful with her. This is the kind of special privilege for these quote unquote experts that has Americans justifiably suspect about double standards and political bias. And ending with this, in summary, the U.S. government cannot be entrusted to police the internet for quote unquote misinformation, as Senator Rand Paul from Kentucky has pointed out. The largest area of misinformation is coming from the government, and Rand is 1,000% right, without question. So you want the same entity that is the number one purveyor of misinformation and disinformation and intentional lies and malinformation. That's the people you want policing your speech online. Absolutely freaking not. under no circumstances. None whatsoever. And we'll leave it right there with the article. Don't forget, please leave me an Anchor call in. Love it. Love it, love it, love it. Anchor.fm/The Cajun Libertarian. Also, this episode is brought to you by @_Infinite Zeal. That's @_Infinite Zeal. Go check out his Twitter bio. There is a link there. And please follow him as he supports this amazing endeavor that we call the Liberty Movement. It's @_Infinite Zeal. INFINITEZEAL, capital I, capital Z, @_Infinite Zeal. Thank you, sir, for sponsoring the show. I want to get to a video before we get up out of here, but let me listen to this real quick. If you want to help carry this extraordinary message that we call liberty, then please like, share, subscribe on Facebook, Twitter, and YouTube. Also, please do the same and leave me a 5-star review on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, and basically anywhere you can find your podcast. If you want to elevate your business or your accounts or whatever, then by being a sponsor on the show, then we have several packages that are all cheap and guaranteed to help you. I would love to support you, and I would love your support. Let me know, please. And don't forget to leave me an Anchor call-in. All right, let's watch a funny video and then bounce.
What?
It looks like you're enjoying yourself. Oh, yeah, that looks like you're enjoying. Okay, you okay?
I'm okay.
Okay. How is it?
It's hilarious. The caption reads, Biden voters trying to pretend that everything is okay, and it's a little kid literally gagging about to puke on something she finds extremely nasty. That is hilarious. Outstanding. Yeah, we'll leave it there. I will see you tomorrow, same Cajun time, same Cajun channel. Don't forget to like, share, subscribe everywhere. And I am out. Galatians 2:20.